Hey preschoolers, I have a winter story for you today called The Mitten by Jan Brett. And I have my mitten. The one in this book is white, but mine is black because black is my favorite color. So, let's find out about this mitten. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. I think Baba was right. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. Should we put a mole in my mitten? All right, here he goes. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. All right. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in feet first. Oh, should we wiggle him in? The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Next, a hedgehog came sniffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. All right, so there's 3 in the mitten so far. Oh, now there's an owl. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, oh my, all right, there he goes into the mitten. The mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. All right, now there's 4. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. All right, there he goes. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left. But when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. All right, he's in the thumb. All right, that makes 5 in the mitten. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw the fox's shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. All right, fits in there too. All right, that's 6 in the mitten. Oh my goodness. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten, all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. Do you think a bear can fit? All right, here he goes. He's going in. The animals were packed in tightly as could be, but what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its sides. But Baba's good knitting held fast. He made it. All right, 7 in the mitten. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up in the air. Woo! Up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Oh my goodness. As he ran to catch his snow white mitten, Nikki saw Baba's face in the window. First she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. Nikki ended up with his mittens after all, even though he lost one and all the animals got in it. And did you see Baba's face when she saw? Look at that. One mitten was a lot bigger than the other one now. That was so nice of his grandma to knit him mittens. And you, don't lose your mittens. Even though they might make a nice home for some animals, you need them to keep your hands warm.